A bill to protect dogs is being introduced by one state representative. It comes as we inch closer to the start of the legislative session.
Yeah, an example of why that representative is pushing for this law happened in this area just last week. News 4's Jacqueline Lambert joins us now. And Jacqueline, tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, this is Dottie, a dog animal control found tied to a fence after last week's snowstorm. Behind her sweet demeanor, she holds the scars of cruel treatment Representative Ensler wants to put an end to.
Near the end of last week, Southern Souls Animal League had an emergency intake from animal control.
And he said, we have a dog that is tied to a fence and it has an embedded collar and it needs help immediately.
They believe Dottie may have been tied to the fence during the snowstorm based on the severity of her injury. Cases like this are happening throughout the state, prompting action from lawmakers.
Animals, maybe it's a mushy way of saying it, but they are God's creatures, and we need to treat them in a humane way.
After support from animal advocates, Representative Ensler is drafting a law to bring new standards for owners who keep their dogs outside and tethered for long periods.
We are looking at that it would be a criminal offense, not something where people would face a ton of prison or incarceration time. It's something where judges would have a little more leeway to decide, is it a fine, is it a pretrial diversion type program.
Shepard is glad to hear lawmakers are taking an interest in helping our four-legged friends.
We see it yearly with embedded collars because they get put in the yard and forgotten. And part of it is education. They're not educated. So if they're forced by law to make changes, then that'll encourage them to educate themselves.
Now, Dottie is doing well and will soon be ready to adopt. As for the bill, it is expected to be filed next week when the legislative session begins.
Jacqueline Lambert, thank you so much for that report. Now, Shepard hopes this will inspire cities throughout the state to adopt ordinances like Eufaula's no tethering ordinance.